maybe they don't need to be. Bill is in Woolwich. Morning, Bill. Is it important? Is it just tradition?
Good morning, young man.
I'm all over the place now. I don't know anymore. Come on, help me out.
Oh, I can see that. You do need a little bit of leveling off. Whether marriage will do any good for you, I don't know. How long have you lived? You actually live with your girlfriend?
No, we don't live together.
No. I think living together, it presents a different problem. I surmise that really marriage should be given, if we're going to get married, and that's a normal partnership, then 10 years is quite an adequate time, and then you should revise between the two of you. That's my submission.
What, so you're married for 10 years and then decide whether it's working?
Yes.
And what happens? What if it's not?
Well, mine lasted nearly 3 decades, which is nearly 30 years. But then it was decided that the lady wanted to move on and get a separation and divorce. The problem is, I think, when you've got children as well. If you haven't got children, there's not a complication. But
if you have, there's a pretty big complication.
Yeah, and you've got to remember that la donna è mobile.
Yeah, the woman is fickle, I know.
Won't go too deep into
Got to be careful about that one, because I think we should probably say men are often fickle as well. Let's just balance that one. There are a lot of ladies listening, yeah.
But I've had a lot of experience with ladies and women in general, even since I was divorced. And I've collected quite a lot of information, even from them. And I'm not so sure that promiscuity isn't quite a great factor in today's standards. It's going to cause I think it's going to cause more trouble than enough, to be strictly honest, in a few years' time. It's caused enough problems as it is.
Getting back to this idea of tradition, did your wife take your surname?
Actually, I'm a silly old romantic myself, to be honest. For women that I still associate with, or have done in the past, I still buy them roses and things like that. So I haven't lost that.
But did your wife take your surname?
Yes. Yes, it was just a natural format in those days. Would
it have bothered you if she hadn't?
I hadn't really taken into consideration. She had quite a good surname, and I'd like to have amalgamated the two. It would have sounded even better. So it's one of those things that, it's important to a degree. I think it's good. Well, there again, a woman said a short while ago on your programme, she prefers Ms. Even though she's married. I think that's a wrong attitude, really. Let us know.
Well, if that's what she's decided, I would want my wife to have my surname, but if that's what she's decided, that's up to her, isn't it?
Well, yes, but it depends on how you feel about it then. You've got to have a deciding factor.
True, you're absolutely right. She'd have to have a conversation with her. I've still not got over you telling me I needed to be levelled off, to be honest, Bill. But thank you. Thanks for the call. I need levelling out is what I need, apparently. I know where I stand on this. And yes, I am quite traditional. I suppose I am a bit traditional. I don't think I'm a sexist. It's about having equality in a relationship. It's about being a partnership and a team, but it's about being really proud of that and telling people about it. Levelling out. Sophia's back. Morning, Sophia. We've got you back.
Sorry about that, Sam.
That's all right.
The influence in Japan, Buddhism again, a pavement artist that I was basking with, he took the wife's name, because that's a custom in Japan, and it meant on a high plateau, which did fit his attitude. It's in Articulate Trapezium Volume 2. He's only a pavement artist, but he knew the meaning of life with the explanation. But, when I was married originally, my husband got the permission of my father. They both came to me. I was very happy with it. We were engaged. And it's only when he died that somebody he was with and he passed me on to, who was a Hindu, and they said, well, you should take my name, and then they said, no, stay with your copyrighted name and go along it that way. But I think for when you're starting off in the first marriage, it is nice to go through the traditional way of doing it.
Yeah, and I think that too. I think that's certainly how I feel about it. There's nothing I've heard this morning that's changed that view, because I've talked about it with my girlfriend and we've decided between us what we would do. I wouldn't impose what I think on her, and she wouldn't on me. But we had a conversation, and we've kind of worked out what we'd like to do. I think she'd probably double barrel it, actually, and be known as Mrs. Pittis, but keep a bit of her name, because her name's a sort of a rare name as well. 0345 6060973. Is it respectful to call up your girlfriend's dad and say, I want to marry her? Or is it outdated and sexist? And how important is it to take someone's surname? We'll come to Laith very shortly. We've got lots of texts and tweets here, so let me get to some of these. Sam on Twitter: simple meal with partner and her parents and ask for their blessing, just as good and more 21st century and inclusive. Yeah, I think I probably would ask her mum and her dad, I think. It's complicated enough with one surname per family. It's the asking her father so that he can decide whether you can keep her in the manner to which she is accustomed. That no longer applies. Yes, I think that does no longer apply, but it is, as I said, just a mark of respect, isn't it? That was on text there. Complicated is interesting. We've had a couple of stories this morning. I mean, families are complicated, aren't they? Not many with a dad to ask nowadays. Oh, the irony, that makes it outdated. What with the alternative family on the rise, accepted and seem more suitable than old ways, but some things can and should not change over time. Yeah, that was a text, an anonymous text that just kind of, it's like a stream of consciousness, but I think you're saying families are changing, and yeah, they are. Families are complicated. Sam, probably in your culture it's still important to you. To most English people it's not. Duncan, what culture am I in? If I'm not, what culture am I in then? Oh, okay. All right, fine. I need levelling out and I'm a bit excluded. All right. Morning, Sam. I'm not married, but in my personal opinion it's pointless getting married if your wife ain't going to take the husband's surname, even if it makes it a double barrel surname. If your new wife don't want to change their maiden name, then live in sin. Regards, Tony Scalane in southwest London. Tony, is the only reason to get married because of a surname, is it? I mean, there must be more to it than that, isn't it? It's about, I mean, yeah, you can make a commitment without actually being married. Lots of people do, don't they? Is it just about a surname then? Is getting married just about a surname? There must be more to it than that. Certainly is to me, I think. I think it is about making that commitment forever. And to me, that's about getting married to do that. Laith's in Torquay. Morning, Laith.
Morning, hello. Yeah, I just wanted to throw in a little bit of, because I'm half Iraqi, seeing the Iraqi sort of, over there, you wouldn't really be for asking permission for anything traditional or anything like that. It would be for your personal safety, and also as well for the woman's personal safety.
That's interesting. Why is that? Go on.
Well, you would have to communicate something. You would normally have to go on an arranged date with someone you liked, and she liked you. And if you were to talk to a woman who wasn't a member of your family or a relative of yours, especially in the north and south.